I am Francois Rabbath. Welcome to my interview.
I
love you.
Only.com. I love you too. Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com, coming to you today on location from the 2017 convention of the International Society of Bassists in Ithaca, New York, with our very, very special guest today, world-renowned, innovative, beyond belief, Mr. Francois Rabbath. Hello, Francois.
Hello.
It is such an honor, such a pleasure to meet you, and there's so much I want to ask you. I almost don't know where to begin. But why don't we begin from the beginning? You have a French name and you live in Paris, but you were born in Syria, Aleppo,
Yes.
and you did a lot of your growing up in Beirut.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of us know the story, but maybe some of us don't. You come from a big family, lots of brothers and sisters, and you discovered the bass, around age 13? And I know the Edward Nani book had something to do with your inspiration to take up the double bass. But rather than hear me tell the story, I'd like to hear it from you. Tell us about those early days and your musical upbringing.
But you are doing very well.
Well, I think you can do even better because I wasn't there. You were there.
Okay, I am born in Syria, it's true, and I meet the bass at 13 years old. In Syria, in this time, that's been 1, 2, 3, long time ago. 13 years old, I have 85, so imagine, nobody knew what it means bass in Syria and this time. So I think it was I fell in love with this instrument, but it's hard to carry an instrument that the people don't know, even the existence. So I fight all my life to let this instrument known, because I think he is the best of all the instruments.
I think we all agree with you there. But you had to fight. Why did you have to fight? It sounds like it wasn't embraced, like it wasn't accepted.
When you travel on the street, for example, holding the bass with the cover, and a baby say, "Oh, it's a big violin." She said, "No, it's a guitar." It's hard to say. You cannot say to the mother, "You are wrong. It's a double bass."
So the baby is right. It is a big violin.
Well, I prefer to say that, so I don't say nothing to respect for the mother. But it's hard. When I came to Europe, but it's all the same thing, In Europe, in Paris, it's happened to be the same thing.
Back then.
Yes.
And now?
Now they know what it's mean, at least.
There was no YouTube back when you were 13.
I fight all my life for it. That's what I say. I fight. It's not a fight. It's when you write a method, 6 volume, and you wonder how I can help all the bass player to grow up for this instrument to be known, and you are working alone and nobody help you. Nobody say, "Okay, I give you some money for it." No, you spend night and day and play and write it. And after I say to myself, why I am doing all this job? By love, I am sure, but why? Who going to? I am losing my time. Finally, no. Now I have 85, and I am here in the convention. I have many babies, believe me, and I am proud of it. I don't waste my time.
How did you figure it out? You didn't have a teacher. You had the one book, the Nani book. You couldn't really read music. Were you able to listen to records or the radio? I mean, how did you know where to begin?
No, my two who was 6 brother and 3 of 6 brother, and we was 5 musician who was playing in the cabaret, the nightclub.
Yeah.
I was the only one who don't play the instrument. So when he bring the instrument, he need a bass player. He buy a bass and he bring it at home. In a way, he need a bass player, but he don't say to me, "Okay, this it's for you. You must play the bass." 13 years old. He say, "Go and give me a handkerchief in my room." But he put the bass, and he tuned it, and everything was perfect. And I go to his. He was playing violin. I go to his room to bring the handkerchief, and I look at it's not a violin. It's enormous, and I don't. Normally, I was so young, so don't touch our instrument because they are afraid that I broke it. I don't stare. I goes and I just pull one note, and she was in the hall, and all the how do you call les vitres, les vitres. It's the door.
Vibration?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was impressed.
Oh, yeah.
I go immediately. I forgot the handkerchief. I go immediately to my brother and say to him, "This big violin is for who?" Because I knew each one have his answer. Oh, he has it. Each one, if you like it, I can give it to you. But if you play it, you don't imagine. I go immediately to his room. I took the bass and I go to my room. But he said to me, "If you play it, you go to the orchestra immediately." And he put me in the orchestra. And I said, "I don't know how to play it." He said, "Just pull the note." I said, "Which note?" He said, pull the string in rhythm. Because the gut string in this area, the bass was very, very bad. And so all the note was sounding almost the same. Pum, 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 pum. So it was a rhythm. And I begin to try to found something. And one day I was in the shop of the tailor, and I see a method of Nani.
Yeah.
I didn't know. When I see it, I look and I read méthode de contrebasse.
Yeah.
I say, this is going to save my life. If I ask him to sell it to me, it's antique because he is Tyler and he put it in the stand. It's like antique because the paper was yellow. It's so old. If I ask him to give it to me, maybe he say no. I must go with her. So he go to bring, to measure the thing. He go to bring the things. I took it. I put it under my. Yes, because. And I hold it with my one hand. He say, "Pull your arm." I do that. Pull the other arm. I do that. The two arm. I say no.
I have the Nani book. It's bigger than a regular book.
Yes, yes. But when I go home, I run. The last.
It's been hard to run too.
First and the last time that I rubber something in my life, but it was a good one. I begin to look at the note. I didn't know the name, but the note it say this is the first string. The first finger it's with me this here. So I was looking the note without knowing the name, and I was playing.
I've got to ask you two things. I know eventually you moved to Paris. You were disappointed to find out that Nani had already died a few years prior to that, so you weren't able to meet him. But two main things I need to ask you about. Your left hand and your right hand. Now, the pivot is one thing that you're known for.
Voilà. That's the one when the traditional method at Nani, you have a first position, first degree, first position, second degree, third degree, and when I reach the C a little bit, I must move my hand, and I was playing out of tune. And I say, why I not just pivot when in my thumb, and I reach the C without an in tune, and I begin to rectify all what he write down in my way to make it more easy for me. It was not a fault because everybody was at all tradition. It's passed like that. and I invent the pivot before I didn't know how to play, because I must have it and write it. A little by little, I see I have 3 notes, not 2 anymore. When I pivot, it's 3 notes. It's more efficient. In one position, in one shifting, I have all the 1 octave. Oh, I say it's fantastic. So I rectify all that. When I come to Paris, I was I was planning to give get like a gift all my research to Nani. I arrive to the conservatory and I ask the concierge, I like to see Nani. He say, are you joking? I say, no, I just arrived to Paris. I say, I like to see Nani because I come from Lebanon to say Nani. He don't say to me he's the director pays. He say, Mr. Come. This fooling, he like to see Nani. The director are not stupid. He say, come my son, what's happened? Why you want to say Nani? I say, I rectify all his work and I like to give it him to thank him that he teach me without. And he looked the concierge. He say, God bless, she's dead.
The pivot is one thing that you're
innocent. I didn't know that it was something that I was sincere. I was in a way giving all the new techniques to him to send thank you. But in this time, it's pretentious to say that by someone 24 years old.
Now, the pivot is one thing that you're well known for. The other is the crab. And I read the inspiration of that, but I'd like to hear you tell the story. Where were you when you got the idea to develop this crab technique that you use on the left hand?
Well, I was in the beach. I see it in the beach. I see a crab.
That's really true then, okay.
Yeah. I see a crab walking, and he never fall down. If you have 5, 6, he put one legs and he moved the other and he put the other. He have always security when he move, and I have it's like a flash. I say, why we don't have that in moving our hand on the base? We must have security. Why we must jump always and be insecure? If you shift with jumping, it must be very rare. If it's happened, it must be exceptional, not all the time. So, in Avignon, I come back in Avignon. One night, I swear that one night I took paper, music, and I write 23 pages without bass, without nothing, just by imagine how I can do this, how I can do that. And next day, I try them all.
3 fingers, 4 fingers?
5, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Da 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 dee. Yeah, it's dee dee da 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 dee da 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 dee. All that. I don't make a mistake. The imagination gives you something perfect. It's not. Imagine that you are doing that. I'm sure I work on them after, because you imagine you write, but you work on them. But it's very efficient.
Yes, it is, and you do it exceedingly well. The other thing that I want to ask you about, one of the other things, is what inspired you to come up with your uniqueness for your bowing techniques. I read that they number in the hundreds, so we can't go into a whole lot of detail, but what inspired you to experiment and come up with some of the innovations that you've discovered with the right hand and with the bow?
That is the experience. I always never look what I am doing. I was listening because I was my own professor. I don't have any professor. To be a good professor, you must listen. When I listen, the sound, And when I watch the bow in different place for one note, I found out that you have different sound and different timbre and different feeling. And I begin to say how I can resolve to have le son premier, the most beautiful sound, the most open sound. And a little by little, I discover that more I push the string and I pull, the sound is different. So I begin to say, if I use my muscles, it's not good. If I let my weight put the right place for one note and throw the bow away, the sounds go, wow. So now, if I move it a little, the sound, the vibration stop. She become aggressive if you go to the bridge, and when you go to the fingerboard, it's become flatchy. A little by little, I begin to understand how the bow are important, because I always, when my background is jazzy, and I all the singer, and after classical, all the domingo, we are using the bow. Why? To imitate the human voice. So how we can imitate him in doing in playing the bass.
Have you done much with the German bow? Because I always see you with a French bow, which is obvious because you.
No. Unfortunately, no.
Not even curious to
Sure, because the sound is different. Sure, it's just, I am curious. When I have after I have Pelle Lisson coming studying with me, he was playing a German bow, and when he is playing German bow, I found out the sound is different, the way how he plays is different, and I teach him his own German bow 2 years before that. He decided to change to learn the French bow also, because much of the sound, when he don't succeed with the German bow, I say took it in French bow, do it. And sometimes it's more easy with the French bow, so he learned how to transmit one of in a way. I was interesting to see the difference, but I notice that the German bow is harder to play on, because the position of the hand cut a lot of your hand, because it's shorter your hand in this position, not in this position. This is more easy than that, and all the relationship articulation of the hand, it's more easy to do that than move all the arm. So it's different sound, that's for sure. But I say always when they ask me which one, play with your feet, but play good.
I could never get comfortable with a French bow. In fact, when I pick up a French bow, I hold it like a German bow.
I know, but that's I forgot. Paul, he know to play with two of them. I don't have this pretensions. I just play with French bow.
Tell me what's keeping you busy these days. You're traveling, you're touring, you're writing. I know you've done a lot with Frank Proto. I know, don't call you a classical player, don't call you a jazz player, call you a bass player, call you a musician. But what's you're still very active, which is great to see. What are you doing these days? What's keeping you busy?
The love of the bass and the continued evolution. Till now, I discover things that nobody know, and I must not die, and took that with me. I suffer a lot without professor. I suffer a lot without information. I share everything that I have, and especially I teach how to not become jealous. When I came to Paris, the first I was good bass player, good, not like now, but I was very good bass player. And the people say, yes, he is good, he play jazz very good, but he don't know how to play this, and he don't know the. After a while, I play classical. Yes, he is good in jazz, in classical, but he don't know how to. He have always a but. They don't accept you like you are by jealousy. No, no. We are artist position, and it's the first things that I teach the people, especially the kids. You are artist before and musician after. So when when you going to manipulate the art, you must be very humble, not proud or aggressive to see. Watch what I am doing. Anyhow, it don't touch anyone when you do that. If you don't play the music, no way. If you have very good velocity, it's serves to nothing. The people watch, you say, oh, bravo, he's virtuoso, and you go, and after, he forgot you immediately. But when you touch deeply with one note, when my method, Andy, all the technique of the word, you must learn it, you must have it, to play one beautiful note. And it's the most important thing. If not, you forgot, if you don't touch you, why you are here, why you come? To see someone like a monkey, very, very, very agile. It's serves to what?
Very wise perspective. Well, is there something else that you haven't done yet that you'd like to do? What else can we look forward to seeing and hearing from you in the future?
I discover the way how you must play half hour, not 5 hour. If you know how to do that, you will save, but you must have it from very young. That means you must be very dense. When I can say a story that I feel that when I was very young, I see in a moving Heifetz one day, coming from the country, he stopped violin because he rested from, and he is playing again. And I was looking at this moving, and I was searching which piece he is playing because it was beautiful. Which piece, for example, but I don't recognize the piece. I found out that he was playing scales and arpeggio. And now, very, very young, and I go to my brother who was piano player. He was playing Czerny, da 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 da. I goes to him. I opened the door to say, Jean, if you want to be virtuoso, you must work like a virtuoso, not like a kid. And I see him in the piano reading a book. And that means he was wasting his time.
His mind wasn't in it.
Yeah, wasting his time. What does it mean? Nothing. You can walk hours and hours, but if you don't, or swim, you can swim. But if you don't have the style, how you can? You know what? That's concentration, musical. That's it. I'm going to do that with the kids tomorrow.
Very inspirational. I could listen to you all day. I do have one last question for you. What would you be if you were not a bass player? What do you think would have happened had your brother never brought that bass home? Had you never encountered the Nani method book? Had you never gone to Paris to figure out how to play the bass? What would you have been?
I think I can say better. If she don't exist, I will create it. I am in love with this instrument. It's impossible. I will find out one day or another. I will be in contact with her. That's it. When I see her and what I hear, it was that. I don't know if she chose me or I choose her.
You chose each other.
Yeah.
Francois Rabbath, what a great honor it is to meet you in person and talk with you for a few minutes. Thank you so much. I wish you much luck, continued success. Keep inspiring bass players, musicians, people of all ages, and we will all look forward to hearing whatever you have to say. Thank you very much. On location at the 2017 Convention for the International Society of Bassists with the honorable, esteemed, legendary, innovative, and all that good stuff, Francois Rabbath. I am John Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.